Max Christie last night. Ooh, Max Christie had a game. Max Christie had a game last night. You know, there was hype the last 2 years about Max Christie coming into he's a rookie and then comes into his second year. I thought last year there was a lot of hype behind Max Christie. And I bought into it. You know, I got especially being around the team and the way last year I'm at every game at crypto, and obviously um, I'm interacting a lot more with a lot more people that are covering the team. So naturally, we're having a conversation. Hey, what do you think of Max Christie? What do you think of Max Christie? There's a lot of hype behind Christie. Here's the reality: he was 20 years old. He was his second year in the NBA, and whatever that hype was unwarranted because um, he probably wasn't going to get too many opportunities. And the year starts, and Darvin Ham's obviously the head coach. And Max Christie really doesn't get a lot of run. And I'm sure, listen, Darvin Ham, I'm sure there are moments of the year last year is like, well, I'm not trying to depend on a 20-year-old when my job is probably on the line. I'm not going to churn to Max Christie to come save the Lakers or be the savior of the Lakers when I got other veterans that I could potentially use. Well, we know what happened. He was using guys like Cam Reddish. He was using guys like Torian Prince. He was using other players. And maybe there were some mistakes that happened early enough, whether in practice or during games, where Darvin Ham said, he's just too young for me to depend on. All right. That was that. He didn't really get those opportunities. And when he did get opportunities, it's not like Max Christie was taking full advantage of them. I thought something last night was really, really interesting from LeBron after the game. So after the game, LeBron basically said that um, the coaching staff is giving him confidence. The coaching that he even went back and mentioned the play. I was actually a little surprised that he mentioned the play. Lakers had a game against Oklahoma City Thunder earlier in the year, and all they had to do is get one stop. I can't remember. It was a 2-point game, 3-point game, but they didn't have to play the foul game. And Max Christie fouled. It might have been Jalen Williams that he fouled. Whoever he fouled, they didn't need to foul. It was a mistake from Max Christie. And I remember doing the postgame show that night and saying to myself, I said on the postgame, I'm like, listen, I get it. He's young. He made a mistake. But you can't make mistakes like that. And he went on the mic and after the game and basically said, that one's on me. I thought JJ Redick was telling me to foul. He wasn't telling me to foul. That one's on me. He took it. Okay, that's fine. You could take the blame. But the bigger question is going to be, are they going to be uncomfortable putting you in a position at the end of the game where you might make another mistake like that? Because you can't have too many of those in the NBA where players start losing confidence in you, coaching staff starts losing confidence in you, and most importantly, you start losing confidence in yourself. I thought when LeBron said yesterday, when he said that the coaching staff is allowing him, he's going to make mistakes. He mentioned that play against Oklahoma City Thunder, but they're also telling him, okay, yeah, but get back in there. Mistakes happen. That's part of the game. Go make it happen after that. Max Christie's been given pretty much as much opportunity as any player on this Lakers roster. And I'm talking about, he's being given as much opportunity as Cam Reddish, as much opportunity as Dalton Connect, as Gabe Vincent, as when D'Angelo Russell was here, as much opportunity as D'Lo, Rui Hachimura. Max Christie has not been in this position where he's so far down the line. And if you make one mistake, it's like, yeah, we're not going to see Max Christie for a couple of days. And part of this is because I don't know how many other options JJ Redick has, but there's also got to be some confidence in this player, which is why JJ Redick has said, all right, let me give you a few more minutes. What are you going to do with it? All right, let me put you on that phenomenal offensive player, that phenomenal guard in the NBA. Let me see what you do with it. Now he's getting to the point where, all right, let me throw you in the starting lineup. And oh, by the way, even if we trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm not trying to make a change of the starting lineup right now. Let me leave it as it is. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting to a point with Max Christie where it's like, all right, I'm not looking around and saying, well, we got to make a sub, take Christie out. That doesn't mean he's going to play perfect every time. That doesn't mean he's going to do what he did last night and go 5-9 from the three-point line, 9-16 from the field. But I do think it's interesting, and I do think coaching and leadership has something to do with this, where There is a coach out there that's saying, why are you looking at me? This is your chance, your opportunity. Go make the best of it. And if you F up like you did earlier in the year, it doesn't mean you're not going to get another opportunity. That, I'm sure, takes a lot of weight off of Max Christie. That I think there's also just a natural development. If you told me a year ago, if Max Christie is in the same position mentally, the same position physically, the same position with the squad and now in the starting lineup than he was a year ago, no, I think this is part of his natural development as well. But I do notice that there are a lot of Laker fans that are looking at Max Christie and are saying to themselves, the reason why Max Christie is having success is because Darvin Ham is not the person coaching him. I think that's extreme. I wouldn't go that far, but I can see why there are Laker fans that are saying, hey, you had this opportunity with this guy last year. You just didn't use him properly, or you just didn't use him enough. The problem with Darvin Ham is whatever happens, any success that the Lakers have, most people just say, well, it was because Darvin Ham was a coach last year. I don't do that as much. And if I do, well, that's not my intention. But Max Christie specifically dropped 28 last night against the Blazers, hit 5 threes, is running all over the place. His job every single night is what? I got to go play defense. His job every single night is what? I got to go stop the best player on the opposing team. Not always going to happen. You go look at that Lakers schedule. It's Donovan Mitchell. It's Ja Morant. It's De'Aaron Fox. I'm just looking at the last few games that the Lakers have played. There's always a great guard somewhere in the NBA, and they're going to tell Max Christie, we need you to go guard that specific player. He wasn't in the starting lineup from the beginning. He kind of earned his way there, and now he's thriving in that role. So I give the man a lot of credit. I give JJ Redick a lot of credit as well, because clearly there is some connection between your coach and your player. This is your role. Go make it happen. And Max Christie has been thrown out there. It's like, all right, I'm good. I can go make it happen, and he's doing it. How much of his development this year is because of JJ Redick? I think there's probably a good portion of his development has something to do with the coach, the confidence, the mentality, all that stuff. But I don't think every time we see somebody else have success or the team have success, do we got to go back and say, well, that was because it was Darvin Ham's fault. I have yet to read the comments, but I'm sure the comments will go out of their way to remind me, well, that was because of Darvin Ham. All right, let's take a quick look at these comments here. Slee, you could drop 28 against the Blazers. That's horrible. Let's start off with this one. Are you not impressed that he had 28 last night? I don't care who he was playing. I really, really genuinely don't care. I don't care if they're playing the Charlotte Hornets, the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't care if I'm guarding him. The guy had 28 in an NBA game. I mean, would you not be excited? Out of all the players, let me give you an example. LeBron last night had 38, 7 of 10 from the three-point line. That's impressive because he's 40. You're not impressed that Max Christie had 28 in a game? I'm impressed. And that's the best way that I can put it. I'm impressed because it was Max Christie. All right, let's see what we got here. Christie's still not better than Reddish. Okay, you know what? Maybe there is some a little bit of hate on Max Christie that I was unaware of. And listen, I'm not here to drive your opinion. If you got an opinion and you think you think otherwise, feel free to throw it in. But I think if you actually look at end of games, who's going to get that playing time? Is it going to be Cam Reddish or it's going to be Max Christie? It's going to be Max Christie. The Darvin Ham hate is on the same level as the D'Lo hate. Okay, all right. Maybe we do have a Darvin Ham supporter here. And listen, I've said this before. I obviously was hating on D'Lo. I was. No question about it, I was. Barkley has a big mouth. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to that one. I don't know what the hell was going on yesterday. I'm looking. I'm like, wait, what did Barkley say? We're going to get into Charles Barkley. Don't worry. Barkley goes at JJ Redick. Great comment right here. Max has a coach that believes in him now. He's allowed to play through mistakes to an extent, right? Like, I think you got enough veterans on this team in LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they sense the problem, can you imagine if LeBron and Anthony Davis, let's say Max Christie keeps making mistakes, and then And then at some point, I'm gonna star some of these Barkley ones because a lot of people are there giving their opinion on it. And at some point, Anthony Davis or LeBron look over at JJ Redick. It's like, brother, get this guy out of the game. You know what's going to happen? JJ Redick's going to be like, all right, I got to get this guy out of the game. But he's not making a ton of mistakes. And I don't really think it's not like you could say to yourself, well, man, when Gabe Vincent's in the game, it changes everything. So I don't think there's this, crazy long list of other options that he can go to. And Max Christie locks up to the best of his ability. He's an athletic guard that locks up, and it's not something that the Lakers have. He's young. Look at the speed around the NBA. Max Christie can hang with some of these players. I'm not telling you he's going to lock down these players. I'm telling you that he's at least has the ability to run up and down with a lot of these players. But I do like this, that the coach believes him now, so he's playing through his mistakes. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got one more on Max. And then we're going to call it a day. Yep. Max has some confidence now with JJ over Ham. That was Max ceiling for sure. His hoops IQ will improve with experience. Hello and regards from Madrid, Spain.